It is a beautiful night for soccer at Lynn Stadium as Louisville takes on Northern Kentucky. The fourth all-time meeting between these regional schools, separated by an hour and a half. Jack Kaiser, Casey Whitfield, our entire crew with you tonight. And we are underway. Louisville in the home whites and Northern Kentucky in the road blacks tonight. Louisville 0-2-1 this season, coming off road losses at Xavier, a ranked program consistently in the NCAA tournament, and a Dayton program that is very strong as well. While Northern Kentucky comes in off a win over Miami, Ohio on Thursday, 1-0. So Casey, this Northern Kentucky lineup, again, they didn't have a ton of goal scorers last year, 8 total goals, but they do have a decent amount of returning production like we touched on in the Open, and they feel confident that a bounce-back season is coming.
Yeah, they definitely think that by returning so many players and bringing in quite a bit of youth, they're going to be able to build on what they were working towards last season. It wasn't their most successful season, so looking to see if they can take the positives from that and use that to build into this one as a jumping starting off point.
Well, Raven Alexander was jumping right there, got a head on it, and Louisville loses possession. Saw the NKU lineup. Again, Kylie Anderson, who you mentioned in the Open, leads the way with 2 goals for NKU, both of them against Bellarmine. That was a 3-3 draw with the Knights across town. Big storyline tonight for Louisville is, can the offense get going? They had 1 goal in their last match against Dayton. It was even most of the way, but Dayton squeaked it out late. Sophia Wilmez on the run for NKU. And here comes a corner kick.
It's a nice run down that side. It's a good break for NKU. But as we can see here with Louisville's lineup, they're playing a 4-2-3-1, so looking to really push a whole lot of numbers forward. And NKU can use that to their advantage, as they just did there, being able to turn Louisville over and counter quickly. That's going to be the way that they're going to be able to produce a lot of offense.
They can score quick. They were down 3-1 to Bellarmine a couple of matches ago with 20 minutes left. And Anderson struck twice. Here's the first service, going back post and just over the head of Sofia Kapzukovic. Freshman center back is dangerous on set pieces. Talking to head coach Karen Ferguson Days about the offense and the scoring struggles before this one. She feels confident they will break through at some point because the chances are still there.
Yeah, they're not creating opportunities, or it's not working going forward. Their offense isn't working. The offense is working. They're getting the opportunities. Now it's just coming down to putting those away, and that a lot of that's due to being a little bit more composed in front of goal, having a little more confidence in front of goal, and I think it'll come. They've got several new pieces up top, and it's just a matter of putting those pieces together, those players getting confident out there on the pitch, and it just takes time.
A relatively new group with a large freshman class, expected to do quite a bit at this point. Several transfers as well. 2 players out tonight that we should mention for Louisville. Emma Hiscock dealing with a sickness, and Emerson Jennings is out with a head injury. That's booted towards goal and scooped up by Michaela Kowalski. So they're trying a lot of different combinations at this point. They're going deep into the bench. Look, it's still week 2 of the season. They're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it's early on, but the problem for Louisville, and where there might be a little bit of panic, is these out-of-conference games are some of the most important for them, because when they get into the ACC, we all know how hard that conference is, how tough it is, the talent level that's in there. And so these out-of-conference games, you have to pick up points. You have to really set yourself apart, get your resume built in the early part of the season, so as you get into the ACC and you play some of these more challenging teams, you have a pretty good cushion as a nice fight to get into the tournament there at the end. So the Cards maybe panicking a little bit, seeing if they can get some more wins out of conference to help build their resume.
Yeah, the ACC is an absolute gauntlet. We will touch on that later today. As for tonight, What's most important for Louisville here in this specific matchup against NKU?
So I think they have to be confident and composed in front of goal. They've done a great job creating the scoring chances, but they haven't been able to capitalize on them. And then the other one is utilize the width of the field. They've got so many talented players out on the wings, but they sometimes try to compress the field too much offensively. When they spread the field out, they're able to get those players on the ball. Then they're also able to spread the defense out a bit more and link up and build through the middle of the field the way they want to. But if they're not utilizing the width, then it's really going to clog it all up, and they're not going to be able to be successful.
And then eventually it comes down to actually finishing those chances.
It, yes, and that's talking about the confident and composed in front of goal.
Addie Chester straight away, approaching the 18. Flicks it inside for Fiona Geyser. A couple of underclassmen that are ultra talented. Chester set up for the service, instead earns a corner.
Addie Chester is so talented on the ball. She's such a dynamic playmaker, and that's why I think she needs to be one of the players that really needs to step up for the Cards and be that go-to player for them.
Karen Ferguson Days called her last game against Dayton a breakout game for her. Had an assist. Near the 6. Headed up by Carson Cherry. Geyser with a hip bump, but booted out by Northern Kentucky. Fancy footwork there.
That's really great composure on the ball. To be able to be that comfortable and confident on the ball is really a true wonder.
That was Lizzie Sexton. Louisville gives it right back. Here's Bob Sheehan in his 27th season as the head coach for Northern Kentucky. He has been a Cincinnati guy through and through, but he has had this program in a great spot. He's coached them very well. Great program in Division II. What do they have to do to get their first Power 5 win since 2016?
So I think they have to transition quickly, and we saw that early on in the game. The minute that they turn the Cards over, they have to begin to push numbers forward and get involved in their attack, so that way they can catch them on a counterattack, and that's going to allow them to be able to create solid scoring opportunities. And then they have to stay compact defensively. The Cards are extremely talented in possession, and they are perfectly fine with just working the ball side to side. So if NKU can stay compact and stay patient, they're going to be able to then turn them over and transition quickly.
The athleticism advantage certainly with Louisville being a bigger program, but Northern Kentucky played them tough last year. It was just 1-0. NKU really rode its defense last year. Louisville fans know the defense for the Cardinals always strong as well. And with the scoring struggles for both of these teams the last couple of years, we could be in for a low-scoring game tonight. Raven Alexander not able to get there. Again, scored the goal against Dayton for Louisville's first of the year.
That's the right idea there. Carson Cherry trying to play Raven Alexander through, but she just needs to either loft the ball a little bit or put some backspin on it so the ball's going to stop. By driving it through the way that she did, it's always going to be rolling out of bounds because it's not that far of a distance.
Physical near the sideline. Alexander was able to kick it away. Push from behind. That was Lily Yordy on the contact. And Yordy, making her return to Louisville, on the bench for a couple of years, decided to transfer to NKU, and it's her first time back in Lynn Stadium.
And she's letting them have it there. That was a pretty tough challenge on Raven. The two of them have been battling it out. I think Yordy there just needs to be patient. Alexander has her back to goal, is going backwards. Just be patient there and keep her going backwards. There's no need to win the ball at this part of the field.
Off the free kick over the head of Addie Chester. And back towards midfield. Little chip in front. Alexander, couple steps behind.
Not a bad little combination play there for the Cards. I think Alexander might have been a little bit surprised that that ball was able to make it through, but a good little through ball there from Maya Maxwell.
The coaching staff loves her left foot. They call it sweet. And she almost set up Alexander perfectly. Here's the talented freshman Geiser out of Germany. Trained in the Bayern Munich system, one of the best development systems in the world. On the chase, down the near sideline, Lucy Roberts, the South Florida transfer. She gets there, crosses, and out of bounds.
I love when outside backs are able to get involved, and that's a good through ball to find Roberts, making a great run here on that right side. As we can see here, it's a beautiful through ball. She does well to get on the end of it. I love how she gets her head up and looks like she picks at her target. It's a great recovery run, though, from NKU to be able to clear that one away.
Sets up the corner. Second for Louisville. Chester fading away from goal. Clean swing. May have been blocked after a bounce, and Kowalski was able to corral.
Super unfortunate there for Haley Howard. It's one of those where you are so open, so right in front of goal that you begin to just overthink it and take your eye off the ball for just a second, but a great opportunity for the Cards.
Maxwell, left foot, bending towards the back post. A little too much on it, went right to Kowalski.
Yeah, if it was a shot, it needed a little bit more on it, but if it was a cross, it needed to be a little bit lower and pulled out a little bit from Kowalski so that it wasn't such an easy grab, but a good look there towards that back post. There was two runners there making the run into the box, so that's what the Cards need, getting numbers into the box, continuously sending those balls in.
We've talked time and time again about how there has been no shortage of chances for Louisville so far this season. They've outshot every opponent to this point. Indiana State, Xavier, Dayton, despite the losses and the tie, they're still out shooting their opponents.
That's the thing. The chances are there, and they're going to come. So if they're continuously creating these opportunities, they're going to go into the back of the net eventually. It's just a matter of finding that breakthrough moment, that breakthrough goal that's really going to open the floodgates for them.
Erin Floyd is back in goal for Louisville tonight. She did not play in the second half against Dayton. In the words of head coach Karen Ferguson-Days, she felt like Erin Floyd gave up a soft one early on the road at Dayton, looked a little bit rattled after that. So she wanted to give her sophomore keeper a reset, but still has all the confidence in the world in her.
Yeah, and as a goalkeeper, you have to have a short memory. You have to get it out of your brain, and if you can't, then it's a good opportunity then to kind of pull them out, let them regroup, and let them start again. She's a wonderful goalkeeper, and no doubt that being able to have that moment to regain that mental strength, that mental capacity for her really has been beneficial.
Second shot of the game there from Alexander.
Yeah, it's a great run in, just didn't really get enough behind it. It was a very easy save for Kowalski. Alexander has to make sure that when she has that opportunity in front of goal that she's striking through the ball cleanly, getting the placement that she needs, and making it difficult for Kowalski to be able to save it.
Possession dominated by Louisville so far. Geiser to Alexander. This is bending near Sexton, unable to control, and Wilmez clears. Huckabee came charging forward. The energy for Louisville feels good right now.
It's very positive, and even with not having that win, they haven't let that deter them. They're continuously doing what they need to do, taking care of the small things, working the ball, not getting frustrated, and that's what you want from your team. If you're not scoring, you want them to continue to do the little things right, and that's what the Cards are doing.
That's a heck of a first touch for Chester. Setting herself up here. Weaving, shooting, blocked, and finally sent out.
Very good individual effort there from Addie Chester, but good defensive recovery there for NKU to get numbers behind the ball.
Chester is just ultra gifted. very advanced with combination plays, but this was all her.
Yeah, and we can see here, she's going 1v1, but NKU's able to get about 3 defenders back. She's trying to cut it back and forth. I think maybe one too many cuts there in the end. I think when she cuts it over to the right, maybe see she can have a look with that right foot there to have a look on target, but a good individual effort from her.
She just tried again going up the left side, but a slide tackle for NKU clears.
We talked about how she needs to be one of those players that gets involved, and that's exactly what she's doing for the Cards right now.
So for Chester and these other strikers who have struggled to score the goals, you want them to be more decisive.
Yes, because when you're decisive on the ball, that means you're confident, you know what you want to do, and you're doing it. You're not sitting there thinking, should I pass it? Should I take an extra touch? Should I cross it? Like, what? You're not second guessing yourself. You're saying, I'm doing this, and then you're confident with your decision, and that's going to show within your shot, within your cross, within your effort, because when you second guess, it's kind of, you're going to go halfway through the motions, and so we want the players to be confident out there.
If you were going through a scoring drought, what was your reset?
I would just constantly be trying to practice that, visualize it, and make sure that I'm putting myself in the position to be successful, making sure that I'm doing the small things right. I'm worrying about my first touch. I'm taking care of business. I'm setting my team up. I'm positioning myself well. So just doing all those little things really is going to help you then get into the right mindset when you get in front of the goal, knowing you've done the little things right, to then be able to finally celebrate doing all the little things right and putting it away.
Well, Louisville has been roaming around the box to start. 3 shots compared to none for NKU. And utter domination with possession through just over 15 minutes. A push forward here. Up the left side, heavy touch, and offsides as well.
I love the link-up play, though, between Geyser and Chester there. Geyser's able to check back, get the ball at her feet, and because Chester isn't playing as high up the field, she's able to sit in and make that late run and come through unmarked. It's the right idea to slip the ball out wide there to Lizzie Sexton, making the run from the back, but Sexton just has to make sure she times her run a little bit better to stay on sides.
Yeah, you'll often see Sexton come flying up from the back, and the coaching staff always compliments her iron lung. She was a track runner in high school. She was great in the relay, and she will sprint back and forth.
Yeah, the new outside back role really requires them to run quite a bit, especially the way the Cards like to play it. We'll see Roberts and Sexton making quite a few runs up and down that sideline, but then that also requires a lot of awareness from Haley Howard and Betsy Huckabee to make sure that they're dropping in and filling the role that the outside back is leaving. And then on the flip side for NKU, though, that's how the space they have to take advantage of when they turn the ball over, is make sure that they transition quickly and get out the side where the player has maybe left the space or has pushed too far forward.
That was a quick turnover for NKU and a long-range shot for Betsy Huckabee. So Kowalski will stand and scan. Last 2 years against Louisville, Kowalski has played just shy of 45 total minutes and faced 9 shots but none on goal. That's a confused look there for the referee.
I think he's trying to figure out maybe what's going on, and that's not what you want to see from the referee.
Were you pretty quiet generally as a player, or did you voice your opinion?
I was a pretty quiet player. I was not one that would really yell at the referees. I was one that maybe would have a nice talking with them, but I also had the disadvantage that my dad was a referee and always knew the refs that were calling our game. So then I would be the one that would try to sweet talk them before the game and, you know, get on the good side. So maybe then I could get a few calls in my favor.
There's always a backstory.
There always is, yeah. I always thought treat the refs with kindness and respect, and then maybe when there's a question to call down the end, it'll go in your favor. That was the way I tried to play it.
I think that's a fair strategy. Headed up in the box for NKU. Cleared momentarily by Louisville. And Geyser pokes it out of there. Contact and a foul on Louisville.
Such a good run there from Geyser to have that breakout, to be able to get that second ball, to not allow NKU to recycle it back through. Just has to be a little bit careful there to kind of control her body as she's going forward.
Sergio Gonzalez, our head referee, on the call. And Yordi, again, the Louisville transfer, will take the free kick. Some backspin on it, and a header goes well wide. That was Lydia Self on the try. 2 goals last year alongside Emily Dorshing, their top 2 returning scorers. And Self is very talented. Horizon League Freshman of the Year a couple years ago.
Yeah, decent service into the box, but I think Self actually caught herself offsides there for a second. So just making sure that, again, timing those runs, especially on those set pieces, so you can make sure that you are not losing that opportunity for your team.
And the timing on runs is something that often needs working out over the first few weeks.
Yeah, because you have to learn when the player likes to play the ball, what their tendencies are when they go to play the ball. Sometimes the player will put their head down when they're going to play it. Sometimes they'll make a sit. So it's just kind of getting to know your teammates.
Victoria Wick checks in, and Raven Alexander will take a seat. We talked about Wick in the open, freshman from Denmark. She played a season-low 20 minutes at Dayton. But they love her skill, her technicality, and her intelligence. And again, just trying to work different combinations, bringing her off the bench today.
Well, and I think also players need to adjust to the style of college soccer, and sometimes that takes a little bit. So when you have a really talented player coming in that maybe isn't showing what they're capable of doing, it might just be they haven't been able to adjust to the game yet, or haven't had enough game time minutes, because practice minutes and game minutes are 2 completely different things. So just trying to get her into the rhythm of the game, getting her in the position she needs to be and comfortable out there.
Here's Maria Weefering with the throw-in. Played in the Horizon League at Conference foe Green Bay before going to Northern Kentucky. And a hometown player from Highland Heights. Louisville back on the push. Chester approaching the 18, and a high ball.
Again, I like the cut inside there from Chester. She's confident on the ball. We talked about that with her. I love how she's dribbling at the back line. But when she goes to take the shot, she has to make sure that she's striking through the ball and not kind of doing a short swing with it. When you strike through the ball, she's going to be able to stay on it. So here you see her cut inside, and she just gets her head up and just kind of chips underneath it. I think if she strikes through it with her laces, she'd have a better chance of getting it on target.
Again, the coaching staff expects Addie and the other strikers to come around. She is used to scoring goals going back to high school, 201 in her career, which is a state record.
Yeah, so she has the ability to score goals. I just don't think she's been able to have that breakout moment out here in the college game.
Had 2 assists last year, a starter as a freshman. And more contact, this time Kaya Vogt going down. Another foul on Louisville.
It's been a physical game so far, which is what you want to see, but both teams, I think it's been a pretty even game. Both teams being able to maintain some possession, both teams being able to get forward. I do think Louisville has had the better of it so far in the first part of this first half.
Yeah, NKU settled in a bit after an early Louisville wave, but possession mainly with Louisville to this point. Chester comes out of the scrum and feeds Wick. The freshman from Denmark. Angles in, circles back, tries to connect with Roberts, and pops straight up. Geyser roaming, Roberts still there, and sent out to Kylie Anderson. Quick pickoff for Cherry.
The Cards doing really well here, keeping the ball alive and not allowing NKU to be able to get that quick break that they're looking to do, to release to those forwards to kind of spark that counterattack. So the Cards doing really well to keep it in their offensive half, but now it's just coming down to being a little bit sharper with their passes, with their through balls.
Again, just one goal for Louisville so far this season. Scoreless draw with Indiana State to start the year. 2-0 loss at Xavier and a 2-1 loss at Dayton. Wick at midfield. And Maxwell trying to connect with Chester. Instead goes to Kowalski. 20 minutes to go in the half and still 0-0.
Well, while the Cards have had shots, have had looks at target, I don't really think any of them have been extremely threatening for Kowalski. I don't think she's been forced to have to make a spectacular save. And so if you're the Cards, you got to see if you can make your chances a little bit more dangerous, see if you can be a little sharper when you're going to take that shot.
Karen Ferguson-Days has talked about how they don't have a true goal scorer. They have a lot of players who can score goals, but if you have that true scorer, it takes so much pressure off everybody else, and they're still trying to figure out who that might be.
But see, I'll then counter that and say sometimes when you have that true goal scorer and they're going through a drought, then you're trying to look to somebody who maybe hasn't been as involved, and so all the pressure's on that true goal scorer. So would you rather have somebody have all the pressure on them or kind of spread it out? I think when you've got tons of players that are able to score, it spreads the wealth and it creates so many different threats.
Emily Dorsheen, who has a goal this year, checks in for Erica Cornett. At the end of the day, the coaches just want the goals.
Right, exactly.
That's the bottom line. Emma Kate Schroll, centers. Chester could not control. Roberts, a direct toss in to Geyser. Tripped up, no call. Anderson plays forward, but Cherry there to meet it.
It's a good decision there by the referee. He was trying to see if there was any sort of advantage from that foul, and since there wasn't, calling it back for the foul that was on Cherry there. So a nice set piece for the Cards, an opportunity to get some numbers forward, see if they can get a good service into the box.
And when you're struggling to score, the more set pieces, the better.
Yes, set pieces are great opportunities to get free looks on target.
Wick takes a deep rip and curls well outside.
Bit of an ambitious effort there with how far out she was, but I like that she's looking to shoot the ball. I like that her thought is to get her head up and see if she can beat Kowalski there, see if she can challenge her a bit, but it is a bit far out, and we'll see a nice replay here of it. Always going to be bending away, and if you're going to shoot from that distance, it's going to have to be a pretty spectacular shot.
Going back to Louisville. 17 minutes to go in the first half. Cardinals seeking their first win of the year, while Northern Kentucky goes for its second straight after beating Miami, Ohio Thursday 1-0. Megan Belrose is in for Natalie Newman. Belrose, a sophomore out of St. Louis. And Kapzukovic sends it in. Haley Howard picks it up for Louisville. Sexton threads it ahead. And well out in front of Chester.
I like the idea there, but again, Chester just tucked in a little bit too inside there, so it's really easy for the defender to mark her. I think if Chester starts wider and then makes her run inside, she's going to be able to get on the end of that through ball, and there's also going to be that space in behind she'll be able to exploit.
Handball gives it to Northern Kentucky. And Self with the deep ball. Header right back to the 18. Shot is blocked from Anderson. Still no shots officially for Northern Kentucky to this point, while Louisville has 5 and 2 on goal.
The back line of the Cards have done so well to really limit the opportunities they allow their opponents to be able to have on target and really create in general.
Here's Lucy Roberts coming on, and Kowalski strides out to take it.
Great awareness there from Kowalski, staying engaged. Sometimes as a goalkeeper, it's easy to lose focus, and it's easy to hesitate on whether I should come out for that or not. But really nicely done from Kowalski to come out quickly and gather that, because I think if she sits back on her line or hesitates ever so slightly, I feel like Lucy Roberts is going to be able to get on the end of that one.
And Cherry calmly plays it back to Floyd, who sends it to the stands. Again, Bob Sheehan feels like his crew is on track for a bounce-back season. 27 years and only 4 losing seasons, most of those in Division II for Northern Kentucky. Made a couple of Final Fours in Division II. 24 losses over 13 seasons in D2. And they've had some success in D1 as well, winning the Horizon League and going to the tournament back in 2016. But they've still never scored against Louisville. Cards have outscored them 11-0 over 3 all-time meetings. Here's Betsy Huckabee racing alongside Kaya Vogt. And rolls out of bounds. Gives a chance for a couple more Louisville subs to check in. Molly Cochran and Savina Zambarini both check in, while Chester and Geyser are out. Emma McSwiggan in for Northern Kentucky. And Jamie Lecker also checks in.
I'm interested to see if Savina Zambarini is going to line up in kind of a similar position as Addie Chester on that left side, a little more of like a wing forward, if she's going to pinch inside a bit more. I am excited to see Molly Cochran. She's definitely more of a hold-up player, so excited to see her maybe hold up the play and then maybe play off with Victoria Wick.
Different look up top for the Cardinals now. 12:30 to go and still scoreless. Floyd taking her time. A starter since her freshman year in high school. 6 consecutive years where she has been the starter, but misses Lucy Roberts on the distribution.
That's a really tough pass there, and I'm not sure why Floyd was trying to put Roberts in that position. Roberts then pointed, just play it long, just send it long in that instance, because Roberts had pressure on her, and playing a risky pass like that could really lead to a turnover in a one-on-one situation.
Nothing came of it. Wick has it poked away, ends up with Roberts. A high pass off the chest of Cochran. Here's Wick coming forward. Feeds up top, outside to Roberts. Roberts, tough angle, low ball, and a diving stop from Kowalski.
That's a really good look there from Lucy Roberts. She's continuously pushing up the field, getting involved. As you can see here, they're able to find her out wide. She lets the ball roll across her body. I think that touch is just a little bit too big. If she keeps it a little closer, I think she might have a little more successful look on target, but a good low-driven shot to the back post.
Third shot on goal for Louisville. 6 total tonight. And the fact that nobody's been able to score tonight really epitomizes what Karen Ferguson Days mentioned at Media Day. At the World Cup level and all the way down to college soccer, the defensive tactics are getting better and better.
I completely agree with that. It's harder to score a goal now, whereas previously you could have 1v1, you could have a player take out the whole back line, but now teams are so good in their defensive shapes and there's such a focus on defense that they're harder to break down. It's harder to score a goal, and we're seeing that with these score lines.
Megan Belrose was not happy with the foul call. Frustrated with Sergio Gonzalez. Let's see.
Yeah, it's definitely a foul. Weeks has the ball on her right side and just she gets her legs completely swiped out from under her. Definitely a foul there. Again, just be patient and force Weeks to go backwards.
Now it's Wick, just mistimed it or lost it. Roberts was the closest one. Willemez trying to thread it through. Cherry steps in. Zamborini plays it back. Took some contact on that forward push. Wick steps inside, and NKU swarms.
Well, and I think the cards are too narrow right now. All the players are kind of within the width of the 18-yard box, and not even within that. I think players need to push out wide, spread the width out when they get into the final third. That's going to force NKU's back line to have to spread out, and then the cards would be able to play these 1-2 touch passes that they want to play at the top of the box. When you have that many people there and overcrowd it, you're never going to be successful with it.
Well, here's Zamborini. Golden chance. Stop from Kowalski. Zamborini will try again, and it's wide.
And she knows it. She wants that one back, immediately putting her hands to her head, wishing she could get that chance again. Here we can see on the replay, it's a great through ball, and nicely done from Kowalski to come out and make herself big. Almost need a little bit of like a chip over top of her, but a very close chance there for the Cards. I think that pretty much sums up their goal scoring so far this season, that opportunity.
Right there, just can't bring it home.
Just can't bring it home. It's there, it's sitting right in front of them. They can see it, they can smell it, but they just cannot put it away.
But great point about Kowalski. Made herself big, came out to challenge her. She was within 2 or 3 feet when the shot was taken.
And that's what you want, again, from your goalkeeper. Kowalski's been very good at it, commanding herself in her box, coming out, making herself big, cutting off the angles, and really establishing dominance in the box.
Kowalski keeps NKU scoreless with Louisville. Trying to hang around, pick up their first Power 5 win in 7 years. And that's a foul on Victoria Wick.
A nice set-piece opportunity here, though, for NKU. With the positioning of it, it's going to lend itself to a nice service into the box, aiming for around that PK spot and looking to see then if they can put that one away. Here we can see the foul again. Wick just running her over. Absolutely a foul every single day. Belrose does well there to position herself between Wick and the ball, but again, a really great set-piece opportunity here.
Aaron Floyd commanding her defense, and it's Kaya Vogt to take the free kick. Bending towards the back post, plenty of white jerseys there. And it's going back the Cards' way. Well defended.
Very nicely defended from the Cards. Really no threat from NKU. It's a good ball in, but the runners just weren't making the runs that they needed to, and the Cards were able to avert any sort of danger. And still not have a shot on target for NKU. Still keep that clean.
Wick trying to connect with Cochran, ultimately does. Up the sideline to Wick. Wick heavy off the foot and rolls over the end line.
Not the touch that she wants there whatsoever, and you can see it immediately once it comes off her foot. She puts her head down because she knows she needed to have a little bit of a cleaner first touch in that situation.
But back to the defense, you know, playing in this system, Louisville is always going to be organized and make the other team earn it.
Absolutely. They are very disciplined in their defensive shape. They're very organized, very composed when they are in their defensive shape, and they're not going to really give you any free looks on target, and NKU is finding that out the hard way.
Still no shots for the Norse. Indiana State went the whole match in the opener without a shot. Ends up good for Cochran. Bounced right to her. Cochran hesitates, shoots, and Kowalski on the near post bats it down.
And again, a good look, but it wasn't super threatening to Kowalski. A lot of them have been right to her hands. And as we can see here again on this shot, does really well to create the space from the defender, but when she takes that touch outside, she's eliminating the angle that she has. She should have maybe taken the touch inside and had the shot on her right foot, but regardless, haven't really challenged Kowalski too much, made her move too much side to side. A lot of it has been right at her.
Even with the poor angle, using her left foot, Molly Cochran can really kick the ball.
Oh, yes, she can.
And she's been playing out of position, according to Karen Ferguson-Days as well. She feels like Molly is a true 10, but she's been playing the 9. They're trying to get her in close positions to goal as much as possible.
When you have a player like that is so gifted with shooting, you want them to be able to create as many opportunities as they can.
That one didn't go for Cochran. And 3:30 to go here in the first half. Not much Northern Kentucky possession, but a long run here and a shot. Would have curled well outside, but Floyd dove just in case.
NKU, as this game goes on and the longer that they stay level in this match, the more confidence that they are going to have, and the more they're going to be able to build and grow into this game. And we've seen that in this half so far. The first bit of it, all Louisville, and now it's beginning to shift a little bit towards NKU. They've been getting the ball in their attacking half a little bit more. They've been creating more opportunities going forward, and they're getting a shot on goal. I think if it goes 0-0 at halftime, it's in NKU's favor.
Louisville feels like this is a great chance to get their first win of the season. You mentioned how important these non-conference matches are, because the ACC is the best conference in the country.
Absolutely, no question about it. And you know that once you enter conference play, every single game is going to be a grueling battle. And you're probably playing against a ranked opponent in every single game.
Well, their first one's against number 5 Virginia right here. That's coming up on September 16th, a few weeks away. Trying to track it down, Emily Dorsheen for Northern Kentucky.
Substitution for the Cardinals, coming on at number 3, Mackenzie Geigley. For number 18.
Mackenzie Geigley checks in. And Victoria Wick will take a seat. Again, deeper into this Louisville bench, searching for something that works.
Well, and that's the advantage of the college game too, though, is the substitutions that you have. There are rules behind it. If you come out in the first half, you cannot re-enter, but there isn't a limit on the number of subs that you can have, so it allows players to constantly be fresh at all times.
Here's Geigley fresh into the match. Sends it up towards Zamborini. It was pinballing there. If Kowalski dropped it, Zamborini was present, but she didn't.
But again, really good goalkeeping from Kowalski. She's been very locked in, very engaged, coming out and grabbing that one. If she doesn't come out, I do think Zamborini's going to get on the end of it. I think Kowalski has had a good first half so far in keeping her team in this one.
She's been aggressive.
Yes, and that's what you want from your goalkeeper.
A backup her first 2 seasons. Last year was her first as the starter. Didn't play a ton against Louisville early in the year, but did earn the starting job. She's allowed 4 goals so far this year, and 3 of them were to Bellarmine. 2 matches ago. But tonight she's looked locked in. And with just over 30 seconds left in the first half, it looks like the Norse will go into halftime with a scoreless tie. Here's Geigley. Turns it right to Vogt. A little scuffle there on the sideline. Roberts thought she had it. It was NKU ball.
10, 9, 8,
8 seconds for the Norse.
5, 4.
Dorsey tried one last rip, and that'll do it for the first half.
Your halftime score.
0-0 at halftime. Cardinals searching for that second goal of the season and their first win of the season, while Northern Kentucky aims for its second consecutive win. Look, Casey, we know Louisville has been struggling to score. That was the big storyline coming in. The chances were there. Same storyline going into the second half.
Still the same thing, and again, it's not for lack of trying. With 9 shots, 5 of those on target. That's what you want from your team, producing those opportunities. But again, going to feel disappointed that they weren't able to capitalize in NKU going into half.
In Nashville in 2016. They've never beaten Louisville. Cardinals playing for their first win of the year in match number 4. Cards will go right to left this half. They outshot NKU 9-1 in the first frame, with 5 shots on frame for the Cards and none for the Norse. Autumn Weeks on the back line, turns and sends it up the sideline to Geyser. Tried to feed it off to Chester, she did, and right back to Geyser. The freshman approaching the end line. Service in, sent high, and out of bounds on the sideline.
A good, energetic start for the Cards, and that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to set the pace here, set the tone, really see if they can dictate how this game goes.
For the most part, it seems like they did dictate that first half. And here's a golden chance. One-on-one. Kowalski does it again.
Michaela Kowalski is just having the game of her life right now. Another incredible save. Maya Maxwell pretty much one-on-one there. But again, it wasn't really placed too much to a corner. Kowalski makes a great save because she makes herself big, but it's got to be a little better placement.
Weeks handles that cross in beautifully. Do you think that's part of the scouting report for Kowalski in this Northern Kentucky defense, understanding you're facing a team that's struggling to score? It feels like being aggressive in that situation is beneficial.
Yeah, you have to be. It's a great run from Maxwell there. Perfect first touch. But again, she hits it right at her. She's got the time and space to be able to bend it around her, but Kowalski comes off her line, makes herself big, and like maybe that's a part of the scouting report, to come off your line and be a little more aggressive, and that's going to kind of psych out the offensive player. But regardless, these players are so talented. They are so good in practice, I'm sure, in front of goal, that they have to make sure that they're taking care of the business end on their side and placing it into those corners.
Sexton up ahead to Huckabee. Huckabee bends it. Geyser came in late. NKU comes away unscathed. Here's Huckabee again. Long range shot and off.
Not a bad look, but again, it's going to be so difficult to beat a goalkeeper from that distance, from that range, especially a keeper that's hot right now and is playing really well. So it's not a bad look, but could there have been a better of option? Could they have tried to work the ball a little bit more side to side to create a little more open look?
Hot start for Louisville here in the second half, though. Less than 3 minutes in. Had a one-on-one straight in front of goal and another shot. Geigley getting the start in the second half for Louisville. Came on late in the first. Glancing header just wide.
That's a beautiful ball in, though, to find Fiona Geyser there from the right side. Excellent service. Geyser just doesn't time that correctly. I think she overruns it a little bit. Maybe it's a step too far in front, so she isn't able to make the contact on the ball that she needs to redirect it on frame, but a good look to be able to find her there inside the box.
Wilmez plays it ahead for Erica Cornett. Setting up and off of Sexton.
Again, the more this game stays level and the better that Kowalski keeps playing, it's just going to feed into the energy for NKU. It's going to continuously give them confidence, allow them to grow into this match. So the Cards have to make sure they're staying disciplined defensively, because a team like this that is building in a game, that has confidence, their keeper's playing amazing, is a dangerous team.
Long throw for Kapzukovic. That is a specialty of hers. She was excellent in the shot put in high school.
When a long throw is such an asset to be able to have on your team, because it's like a second set piece to be able to send a ball into the box. It's almost like a corner kick.
Were you ever very good at it?
No, that was not. I was not a throw-in person.
Here's Maxwell. Soft shot. Kowalski did have to dive for it.
Maya Maxwell has done very well getting in behind, and she does it again here, slipping through. Very good defensive effort there, though, from Weifering there to get back and be able to disrupt that. I don't know if she was trying to get that one on target or send it across to Geyser, but Maya Maxwell has really been finding herself in dangerous positions.
It seems like she's just had a nose for the right spot all night. And that's been the case for a few Cardinals throughout the season, but only one goal from Raven Alexander last match. That is it to this point. Foul call will set up for the Louisville free kick. 6 minutes into the second. That goal from Alexander, by the way, last match came in the 58th, approaching about the same time soon. Off the spin, Roberts. It's Sexton reversing field. Chester. Chester tried to leave it behind. NKU was tight enough and clears.
Chester has a better starting position there, pulling out wide, and that's what's allowed her to give that space on the inside that she wanted to take advantage of there. So I think the more we're able to find her in wide areas, you're going to give her more time and space on the ball, which is what Chester needs.
Pinched in there, found Huckabee. Huckabee trying to work past. Too many black jerseys. Cherry battling and slides it out.
Very nice defensive effort there from Carson Cherry. Perfectly timed slide tackle to really eliminate any threat going forward for NKU. It allows her team now to be able to get back and get set in their defensive shape.
The coaching staff loves Carson Cherry, even the previous coaching staff that she had in club. I love this quote from her club coach. He called her the epitome of stealth.
Ooh, I like that.
Effectiveness quietly, and then a moment of brilliance out of the blue.
I like that. I've not heard a player described that way, but I think that's a really good way to describe Carson Cherry.
Sounds fierce, doesn't it?
It does.
Stealth. She is working back from surgery 4 to 5 months ago. They feel like she is physically close to being back to 100%, despite starting all 3 matches so far this year. Still level. Approaching 10 minutes into the second half. Carson Cherry and company searching for an elusive goal. Only one all season to this point for Louisville, seeking their first win. And the Cards win it back.
That's good defending there from Autumn Weeks. Just patient and timing that challenge really well against Cornett there.
We've talked so much about the lack of goal scoring I think that's taken away some of the attention from pretty good defensive play so far this season for the Cards.
Yeah, I think defensively they've been very solid. They are very good in their defensive shape. They don't allow easy opportunities. So now they just need to see if they can produce on the other end because they're producing a lot defensively.
Chester feeds it in. Roberts had it taken away. A battle for the ball. It's won by Sexton. Maxwell, Geyser. Geyser trying to find some space and pushes down Lydia Self.
Geyser find herself with like 3 defenders around her there. It's a tough situation to be in. There needs to be a little bit more support around her to see if she can maybe lay it off there or have a little combination play so she's not trying to take 1v3.
They've been marking her pretty closely all night.
Absolutely, but she's not a player that you can really give a whole lot of time and space to.
Louisville going wide. That slips through right off the fingers of Kowalski, but nobody was there for Louisville.
Little unfortunate there for the Cards. An easy tap in there because Kowalski makes an uncharacteristic mistake for her today. The ball just sliding through her fingertips. We can see it here. It's a beautiful service into the box. Nice, low and driven. Kowalski just tries to punch it away, but doesn't get enough behind it to really push it to safety.
Out of bounds off NKU over the end line, setting up the first corner for Louisville in the second half. And Chester was about several steps away from where she needed to be to tap that ball in. She'll take the corner here. Headed out cleanly by NKU. Chip back in by Sexton. Geyser, Kowalski punches. Roberts can't get much on the shot.
And Kowalski again coming up big. That's a great second ball in though from the Cards and a good run from Fiona Geyser to challenge Kowalski there. But again, Kowalski's just been so good.
It was really close if it even hit Geyser. She was right there. It was bang, bang.
Yeah. But the Cards still knocking at the door there. It's just a matter of time. When is it going to finally open up for them?
It seems like their chances are more dangerous this half.
Yes, I would agree with that. I think they look a little more threatening this half than they did in the first half.
Still a lot of time left. About 34 minutes to go. 12-1 right now in shots for Louisville and 7-0 in shots on goal. To officially not ruled a save for Kowalski, Geyser did not get her head on it, but here she is at the 18, left-footed strike, and did not have the angle.
It's a good strike, though. She does well to stay over it, stay over top, but just kind of pushes it wide instead of getting it on target.
So Maxwell, who had the one-on-one early in the half, checks out. Molly Cochran is now in. Geyser also taking a seat. And Carson Cherry will check back in after a short break. Again, they will spell Cherry occasionally because she's working back to full fitness still. It's a lot easier to run around there tonight than last week.
100%. When it is that hot out, it is miserable to be playing. It's still warm out there, and don't get me wrong, it's still hot for the players out on the field, but it's definitely the type of hot that they would rather have, and it's what's more expected at this point in the season.
Foul keeps it with Louisville. You enjoyed the cold more than the heat.
When it's so hot, you cramp up, and it creates a few other problems that I didn't like as a player. So I would rather have it be a little on the chillier side than scorching hot.
Everybody's got their preference. I'm sure if you polled these players, it'd be relatively split. Betsy Huckabee with it, freshman from Crestwood, Kentucky. Comes from a dominant program at South Oldham. 25 minutes from here at Lynn Stadium. Won a state title last year. So many local players for both of these teams in the region.
NKU struggling once they turn the ball over to really connect the next couple passes. The Cards have done very well of recovering the minute the ball is turned over.
Yeah, any type of counterattack that NKU has seemed to have is thwarted quickly. And give credit to Louisville for keeping that energy defensively up despite not scoring.
Well, and then that also helps them keep their attack alive. They don't have to have their players run back. They don't have to get reset in their offensive shape or set in their defensive shape. So they're able to continuously apply that pressure to NKU.
Kapzukovic tracking backwards. And the freshman center back plays it off Louisville. That was Morgan Bentley with the pressure.
Morgan Bentley has so much speed that I imagine they're trying to put her in there to have her challenge that back line a bit more, see if they can release her over top.
Yeah, Bentley also on the track and field team. Great athlete. And with 30 minutes to go, another substitution. Chester will come out, and Zamborini is in. Had a great look at goal in the first half. And Raven Alexander, who has the lone goal this season for Louisville, is also back in. Card set up. Cherry plays it in. Bounces near Cochran. Lydia Self on it for NKU. And a foul on U of L.
A little bit too aggressive there on the challenge, but I like the tenacity, the energy that the Cards have going forward. They're not letting the lack of goals get them discouraged. They're continuously pushing forward, continuously trying to create opportunities.
Playing for their first win, 0-0 tie with Indiana State, 2-0 loss to Xavier, and 2-1 loss to Dayton on Thursday. You were here for that Indiana State game. Does it feel similar?
I feel like it feels better for the Cards. I feel like they look more composed going forward offensively. You can definitely tell this team has grown. This team is getting more comfortable playing together. So I do think it's been an improvement since then, which is a positive.
They're hoping for the result to change, though.
Absolutely.
Again, they outshot Indiana State 23-0, but it still ended 0-0. Bentley up the sideline. And nobody home there on the pass. Here's Autumn Weeks, a fifth-year senior, very aggressive defensively, difficult to get past one-on-one. Kapzukovic with a box out for Northern Kentucky. Well played.
Very good defending there, patient, not allowing Bentley to be able to get around it, establishing the position. I feel like NKU, though, has grown so much in this game. They look a lot more confident. It's just a matter of can they connect their passes once they turn the Cards over. I think once they're able to do that, they're going to be able to get on a break and get a good transition.
Still only one shot. And it seems like hardly any possession, if any at all, here in the second half. Cherry goes wide. And taken away by Lily Yordi. Stood on that Louisville sideline for a couple of years before transferring to Northern Kentucky. Ball played in, Bentley right there. Here's a turn, Zamborini, and it's high and wide.
Zamborini finding herself there in front of goal again, but really good recovery defending from NKU. It's a nice service into the box, and Zamborini is able to kind of get on the end of it, able to spin, gets a shot off, but just is leaning back on that shot, so it's always going to go over. It's a difficult shot to be spinning and try to shoot it and get it on target there, but another one where they just cannot execute it.
Ball threaded through, and Kowalski collides with Alexander.
Great little through ball there. Good run from Raven Alexander, but really nice goalkeeping again from Kowalski to come off of her line quickly and gather that one.
And it was a great angle on the replay of Zamborini. Her momentum was carrying left, and she had to get that shot back right, and that is so difficult.
It's so tough to do. It's not an easy shot whatsoever. While you think, oh, it's right inside the 6-yard box, of course that's an easy tap in. It's really not. The mechanics, the technicality behind it is very difficult.
Not to mention Kapzukovic made it very difficult with a late dive. Ended up as a tough angle shot, and it's still 0-0 with 25 minutes to go. Emily Dorsey not able to control. That was a similar spot, a little bit closer to her goal that she scored against Bellevue, as Emma Hiscock was able to check in. She was questionable for tonight with a sickness, but she does see action in the second half. Shea Shipley also checks in.
Well, I think it's one of those things as a player, if you can muster up the energy to be able to get on the field, you're going to do everything that you can, especially when it's a close game and you think that you can have an impact in the match.
We've barely said Aaron Floyd's name tonight.
And I think she's okay with it.
Yeah, right. Fine with her. Here's Hiscock on the charge. Tangled up with Lydia Self. So Hiscock on the run early, coming right in.
A little bit aggressive on that challenge there, but you got to appreciate the tenacity that she has going forward. It's a good look on the through ball, but just takes out Lydia Self there. Self does really well to position herself between the ball and Hiscock a little too aggressive.
Roberts tumbles. And it's whistled on Roberts, who is stunned.
I appreciate the shocked look there on her face.
Well, it looked like she fell because the NKU player fell in front of her.
Right. We'll get a better look at it here.
Maybe a little forearm to the back, but not much.
Yeah, I think the NKU player, it was difficult to see who it was already going down as she was getting the ball. I think that's one where it's just a no call and let it play on.
And Belrose has been feisty tonight for the Norse. Gonzalez whistles for another foul. Here's Weefering. Approaching the box, chipped out. So Northern Kentucky can finally set up in the attacking third.
Well, with the long throw, they'll be able to set up like a set piece and get a service into the box here, looking to see if they can get that second look on goal.
Yeah, remember,
or second shot.
Right, Kapzukovic has a cannon with the toss. High in the air, header straight backwards, deflected off the crossbar. It pinballs around, still out there, and finally over the end line. Oh, that was dangerous.
What a moment there for NKU, though. You felt it kind of building for them, and they've been gaining in confidence. It's a great throw-in, and it looks like it's just a little header here that flicks on and has Floyd beat. But the crossbar was able to save her, and then bouncing around there, so dangerous. NKU not able to get on the end of it. The Cards do well to kind of avert the danger.
Right away, here's a corner. It's bending towards the back post, no threat. And it's over the end line out to Louisville.
Really nicely defended there by the Cards, not allowing their marks to be able to get through and get a clean look on goal. Nicely defended.
But that header was from Emma McSwiggan. just glanced it right backwards, and heads up play for Floyd. Didn't really jump much, but tapped it straight up. And I felt like Louisville was fortunate after it came back down to the ground that
it didn't fall right to an NKU player and kind of bounced away from them. I agree with that, because you never know which way it's going to bounce, and those are the most stressful moments as a defender, as you're trying to clear the ball out of your box, but you don't know where it is.
Biggest threat of the game for NKU. Can Louisville respond? Hiscock is fast, eventually does catch up to it. Sets up wide, and a high ball Kowalski is tracking. Huckabee trying to keep it in.
Bit of a hopeful service there into the box from Hiscock, and really doesn't have the support in numbers going forward. I think her teammates were trying to catch up with her up there in the final third, so maybe see if she can pull it back and link up there with Zamborini on her side.
And foul on Cochran over the top, trying to win the ball in the air, battling with Shipley.
NKU looking to push the pace here on those set pieces, not trying to set it up, looking to see if they can go quickly and catch Louisville off guard.
Oh, here's Dorsey threading it in. Floyd came out, and offsides his call.
That's good goalkeeping, though, from Floyd. Very risky, though, coming out. As you see, she's still down, and the training staff is being waved on. But a good break for NKU down that left side, trying to play it quickly, trying to push the pace of this game, seeing if they can get that go-ahead goal. Hopefully Floyd is okay and able to continue.
Yeah, Floyd came out fast. Everyone was waiting for the offsides call. It did come. Megan Carl gets the yellow card. Her first of the season. And the clock stopped at just about 20 minutes. Our first card tonight.
And here we'll get a little replay of it. It's a good ball across, and Carl just sliding in a bit too dangerously there on Floyd. I don't think there was any malintention to it. I think she's just trying to go for the ball. It's just unfortunate. She came over to apologize to Floyd, but Floyd's still down. Looks like maybe they're sitting up. Hopefully she'll be able to continue, and they won't have to make a change this late on in the goalkeeper position.
Yeah, when a dive is involved with lots of cleats in the area, it's always really scary. And they were checking out her face momentarily. Floyd is walking. Everybody applauding as she is up under her own power. And we're just trying to read body language here.
I think they're trying to just make sure, do that final once over, give her a minute to collect herself, to get composed, and it looks like she will be continuing on. Gives the thumbs up to the coaching staff.
That's what everybody wants to see. Malene Nielsen did play the second half for Louisville against Dayton. And started to pace just in case. But Floyd with the goal kick after the brief stoppage. Belrose not able to keep it in. Meanwhile, this match, the last minute, has totally shifted towards NKU.
Yeah, they are really coming out with a lot of energy. And we talked about it. They've got nothing to lose in this matchup. They haven't won against the Cards ever. And so it's a great opportunity for them to get a really big statement win. And those are the types of wins that are big when it comes to the NCAA tournament.
Here's Cochran. Straightaway shot, and it's high. That was Hiscock pounding the turf after she sailed it. And more subs. Maxwell, Chester, Geyser all back in. Three of their top offensive threats.
And that, again, we talked about the subs a little bit in the first half, but the advantage in the second half is players are allowed to return one time. And so even though the players leave the pitch, they can come back on again. So it allows you to take kind of your starting lineup that you have in the second half, bring them out about midway through, allow them to rest a little bit, and then sub them in for the end of the match to really have that final push.
Dorshing trying to feed Wilmez inside. But a big wave of subs right there as Louisville tries to make its last push under 20 minutes to go. Good work from Geyser to win it. Not on the same page as Huckabee. Maxwell keeps it in. Maxwell with a couple of shots on goal tonight. Louisville out shooting NKU 15-3, but two dangerous looks for the Norse in recent minutes. Louisville playing for its first win of the season, while Northern Kentucky goes for its second straight win and first ever against Louisville. Again, all the stats in totality for this match, it really has been run by Louisville, but if you can't find the back of the net, it just takes one run or two runs like we've seen from NKU to change it.
Right, it's one of those things where the possession numbers don't matter, the number of shots that you have, none of that matters. What matters really is the goals. If you put the ball in the back of the net, and you could have one shot on goal and that could be the one that goes in the back of the net and not see the ball for the rest of the 90 minutes, but that one moment makes a difference, and that's where the game of soccer can be so frustrating. You can dominate a team, you can control a game, and you can still lose.
As for Northern Kentucky, they haven't even tied with Louisville. So at this point, facing a Power 5 program on the road, they might be content with a 0-0 draw. Ball skied towards Floyd, no problem.
I think a draw would definitely feel like a win for NKU, and I think that it's apparent in sometimes the way that they're playing, taking their time on some of the restarts. Kowalski there was holding the ball at her feet, waiting for the Cards to come up and pressure her, but then the minute that they have the ball, they're looking to play quickly and see if they can get that go-ahead goal.
Geyser to Chester, right back to Geyser. Geyser goes wide. And across. Looks like it did not go off anybody. Geyser just unable to hit it cleanly.
And I think Geyser cuts that back into pressure. I think if she lets that roll across her body to her right foot, she might have a look on target. As you can see here, she cuts it back into it and completely eliminates her angle there when she cuts it in that direction. If she opens up with it, at least that's going to give her a few more options, either on target or to be able to connect with her teammates.
And those are some of the finer points, the technicality that it seems like Louisville is searching for in that finishing moment.
You know, it's just the little details that make all the difference.
Roberts in a battle lost it. McSwiggan far up the sideline. Wilmez is fast, but Cherry's faster.
And Carson Cherry does very well there to get her body in between Wilmez and the ball and not really allow Wilmez to be able to get around her.
Outside of a couple close calls, the Louisville defense has been excellent tonight. With less than 15 minutes to go, they need a goal to get their first win of the season. Huckabee turns upfield. Huckabee playing direct. Huckabee leaves it off for Cochran. That touch allowed the defense to corral, and outside to Howard now.
Just taking a few too many touches in and around that final third. Huckabee, when she cuts inside, she has a shot, but she takes another touch, and then when she lays it off to Cochran, Cochran takes a touch too many as well.
Yeah, Floyd bobbled there, recollects after the shot maybe from Dorshing.
And those extra touches inside the final third for the Cards makes me wonder if they're beginning to second guess taking some of those shots. Are they overthinking it now? And then that's going to lead to additional issues in the final third.
You think back to the two chances where it's one-on-one with the keeper, right? Maxwell had one of them. Zamborini had the other, and just right at Kowalski.
Yeah, I mean, they made Kowalski look really good. Kowalski has had a phenomenal game, don't get me wrong, but those two chances were hit right at her, and the Cards just have to do better when they get into those opportunities and at least make it difficult, make the keeper have to dive and make a spectacular save.
Substitution for Louisville.
Two more subs, Alexander and Geigley both back in. Cochran and Geis are out. Here's Cherry. Long range and well high.
It's a good strike, though. She got the right power behind it. But like I've been saying all game, it's just that's a tough shot to beat the goalkeeper from that distance.
So another goal kick for Kowalski. Northern Kentucky 1-1-1 on the season. Building momentum since the second half at Bellarmine. On Sunday, they trailed 3-1, rallied, scored a couple of goals in the final 20 minutes for a 3-3 draw, and then beat Miami, Ohio Thursday. In the midfield to Alexander. Dorshing with two players on her. Weeks punched it away, and foul is eventually called on Weeks as Dorshing went down.
Bit of a tough challenge there on Weeks. I'm not sure if it was foul worthy. I think it looked like a pretty clean tackle, but regardless, a dangerous set piece here as we approach the end of this match. Here we'll get a look at this foul again. Weeks just kind of diving in. I think it's her trailing leg that takes out the player, and that's why it is a foul there, but a dangerous set piece, a good opportunity here to whip a ball in to the box.
It's Vogt. High loft. Floyd flies and punches. Hangs around for Belrose. And a spinning ball picked up by Chester.
Very good goalkeeping there from Floyd to come out and punch that one away to safety. Very nicely done.
Megan Molnar will check in. But Floyd, even after she went down and was shaken up for a moment, still has the courage, the aggressiveness to come out and make the right play.
Right, well, the way that she kind of fell too, it was a pretty tough challenge there as she came out. Made me kind of wonder, is she going to be able to bounce up quickly if there's a second shot?
10 minutes left. Northern Kentucky still has never scored against Louisville, but they've been stride for stride with the Cards. Sexton spins and somehow comes away with the ball.
Really good stuff there from Lizzie Sexton. Some cheeky little footwork.
Sherry to Maxwell. And Maxwell has it taken away from behind. Pops to Alexander. Boxed out by Weefering. Alexander, Chester, shot high.
And the Cards are still knocking at the door. Addie Chester has had a couple different opportunities, but I don't think she's really had the one moment that she needs to be able to break through. Her shots have been a little bit high, a little far out, not really a clean look on goal.
The looks seem to be coming further and further out as this game goes on.
And I think that's a lot of credit to NKU. They've really tightened up their back line, and they're making it difficult for Louisville to break down.
These teams pretty familiar with each other at this point, playing the last 3 years. Bob Sheehan's team almost got it done at home last year in Highland Heights. Lost 1-0. And the 27th year head coach still commanding the troops right now. We said it earlier, they'd have to be happy with the draw. Louisville out shooting NKU 18-3. But here comes Kapzukovic, and the last time she threw in from over there, it almost ended up in a goal. McSwiggan had a header go backwards off the crossbar. This one near the 6. Chip towards Floyd. Tumbling makes the grab.
Aaron Floyd does really well to hold on to that one, because if she drops it, McSwiggan is there for a nice tap in, but another dangerous throw there to set up a good look on goal. And here we'll get another look at it. It's a nice long throw there in. Louisville thinks that they've headed away, redirected, and Floyd, again, nice job holding on to it because McSwiggan was there for an easy tap in.
What a weapon that is from the sideline.
It's such a threat.
Wilmez tried to feed Dorsheen. It's Molnar instead. Roberts on the mark.
Molnar just misses the pullback there. If she's able to get her foot on the ball, I think she can pull it back and have two options there inside the box, but just misses the ball.
Alexander all alone right now, but battling for it, comes away with it. Raven Alexander striding ahead. Defense recovering, shot is blocked.
Just as the Cards have had a really great defensive effort this game, I think NKU has had an equally great defensive game so far. It's a big battle defensively for these two teams. Here we're going to see Alexander making that run again, taking the defenders on one-on-one, but look, she's got three players that she's going to have to get through. The three backs dropping in to completely shut that down. Very nice tackle there from Weifering.
6.5 left. Karen Ferguson days in Louisville to pick up their first win. Cherry headed out. Wilmez pressured and plays it off Sexton. Chester up top, taken away. That was Yordi, the former Cardinal. Nobody home on the map, the pass to midfield. Here's Molnar. And Roberts all over it.
What a nice open back and forth game we've had in these final few minutes.
It has started to open up the last few minutes. Feels like both teams are trying to set up for one last solid chance with 5 minutes to go. That might have been it, but the foul was called.
And that's one of those plays where there might not have been a whole lot of contact, but it's going to get called every single time. Anytime
there's any type of contact from the back moving forward, it seems like it's
always going to get called. And it was always so frustrating as a forward to not touch the player. They like trip over their own feet, but you get called for the foul anyways. It's always going to get called.
Huckabee, Chester, tight defense. Chester just can't turn.
They've also been very tight to Addie Chester and really haven't allowed her to have the time and space on the ball that she's needed to be creative.
But here she is running into the box. That Northern Kentucky defense is tight time and time again near the goal. Nearly got over Weefering. Sexton. And Kowalski scoops it up with Alexander in the area. Now under 4 minutes to play.
NKU looking to see if they can release it long when they're able to turn the Cards over, but the back line has been very good at averting any of those through balls.
Yordi pushes, bangs it off Chester. Two more subs for NKU. Megan Carl and Kylie Anderson back in. And Anderson has 2 goals to lead the team, and both of them were in the city against Bellarmine a couple of games ago. Wilmez scoots it out of bounds, and with under 3 minutes left, the distribution from goal becomes more important.
The Cards have to make sure that they don't get too frantic trying to get that go-ahead goal, that they still stay composed defensively, because NKU has been pushing a lot of bodies forward and have really been looking good these final few minutes.
We'll see how open it gets. 2.5 to play. Huckabee to Sexton. Comes right back inside. Reverses field to Chester. Chester, nutmeg. Chester into the box. Chester got the shot off. It was blocked.
Good individual skill level there from Addie Chester. Very confident taking those players on one-on-one. Just couldn't get the space that she needed to have that successful look on goal.
Less than 2 minutes to go. Let's look back at that individual skill from Chester.
Such a cheeky little move there with the little cut nutmeg on Yordi. What a move.
Here she is again, trying to squeak through. Feeds it off to Alexander. A lot of black jerseys there. Geigley came in late. Throw in for Louisville. 1:20 in winding. Service in, Alexander near, out to the 18 and beyond. Dorsheen looking for Wilmez. It's Floyd. Calmly sends it back towards the attacking third.
1 minute.
Chester comes back middle. Service, header just wide. It was Alexander with a chance.
Oh, you've almost felt that one going in the back of the net. It's a great ball across. Here we'll get another look at it. Good service in. Alexander has enough space there on the back post, and the deflection that it takes off of Weifering, I think, pushes it past that post there. So Weifering with a maybe even game-saving deflection.
Clock stopped at 35 for a corner kick. Whistle blown, everybody stops.
Yellow card has been issued to the bench of Northern Kentucky.
And a yellow card to the Northern Kentucky bench. I think Bob Sheehan's questioning why there's a corner kick.
Yeah, and if you look at the spin of the ball, I think he's got a good point there. The only reason I said it deflected off her is because they gave a corner kick, but if you really look at it, it doesn't look like it goes off of her.
Chester bending it in, and oh, just missed again.
The Cards can't buy a goal in this match. A great ball to the back post. Here we can see Chester sends that into the back post, and it's a great volley from Cherry. She just can't get it inside the posts.
She had the game-winning header in the 1-0 win last year against NKU and was that close to getting one again. 0-0 draw for the second time this season at Lynn Stadium. Hard-fought battle. Northern Kentucky moves to 1-1-2 on the season. And Michaela Kowalski, what a performance for her, matching a career-high 7 saves.
She was absolutely incredible tonight for NKU, and she's the reason that this game ends in a draw. She came up massive for her team, saving several one-on-one opportunities. Definitely the player of the game all around for both teams. An incredible night for Michaela Kowalski.
And not facing a Power 5 opponent before outside of Louisville. Only playing limited minutes against Louisville. You just wondered how she would fare. Not seeing any shots on goal before tonight.